Hey guys, welcome to week 13 of the Trinity Football League. As promised in my playoff scenario segment, that I would be probably doing another separate segment regarding playoff predictions for week 13. And we're going to do those here in this segment today. We have, let's go ahead and do the awards real quick. The top dog award went to the Archdale Intimidators for scoring 123 points this past week. The Tough Break Award went to the Westover Wallaroos, who scored 102 points but still managed to take the loss. The Lucky Dog Award went to L-Town Beatdown. Congratulations, Chris, for getting a victory this week. And the Donkey Award went to Craig Beard and the Trinity War Dogs for only scoring 70 points this past week. Congratulations or condolences, however you want to interpret that, for those awards. Okay, let's get into this week's matchups. We have some great matchups this week, and of course, these are all going to determine the outcomes of these matchups will determine who makes the playoffs and who doesn't. So let's get into them and look at them a little bit more closely to see if we can determine who's going to do what. Okay. All right, the first matchup that I have here is the Fairgrove Mad Dogs versus the Trinity War Dogs, the Battle of the Dogs, Dog Bowl 2. I took Dog Bowl 1 as the Fairgrove Mad Dogs, so Craig's going to look for a little bit of revenge this week. So let's take a look. I've got Michael Vick and Jamal Charles and Chris Johnson, Dwayne Bowe going. Three of those four have been very hot. Dwayne Bowe, Michael Vick, and Jamal Charles have all done very well. Chris Johnson got me a big fat goose egg last week. So I need more from Chris Johnson if I'm going to pull this one out. Trinity War Dogs can counter with Phillip Rivers, Richard Mendenhall, and a bevy of wide receivers. I think Craig has the advantage as far as wide receivers go, but I'm hoping that, and we're almost awash as far as quarterback goes, but I'm hoping that Chris Johnson can come through here and Jamal Charles can keep up his production and I can get a victory over the War Dogs this coming week. I believe that I can do that. So I'm going to predict the Mad Dogs over the War Dogs for this coming week. The second matchup is Mike's Italian Stallions versus Rob's Westover Wallaroos. All right. I see that Mike has taken Brett Favre out as his starting quarterback and put Josh Freeman in. That's probably a good move on his part, as Josh Freeman seems to be an up-and-coming quarterback. Westover Wallaroos have Flacco, Fred Jackson, Chris Ivory, and I believe, though, that the Italian Stallions, if they can get a little bit more production out of Darren McFadden, they should take the victory this week. I think their matchups are just a little bit better than the Wallaroos. I predict an Italian Stallions victory this week in this matchup. The third matchup is a huge one. Archdale Intimidators versus Craven Pines Soaring Condors. If it holds true and I can beat Craig this week, the Intimidators will need to beat the Condors in order to secure a playoff bye in the first round. And Archdale Intimidators, of course, have had a little hard luck come their way with their team this past week, as Frank Gore went down with a season-ending injury. Excuse me for that, but a season-ending injury, and they will have to plug LeGarrette Blunt into that hole, which is a pretty good stopgap, actually, to go along with Maurice Jones-Drew. And also, on a side note there regarding Calvin Johnson, I'm not sure if everyone was familiar, but Sean Hill, the quarterback for Detroit, is probably done for the season with a broken throwing hand. And now that Detroit will be down to their third-string quarterback, and as we have seen with other wide receivers, third-string quarterbacks don't necessarily help out top-flight wide receivers. Ask Steve Smith or Larry Fitzgerald how that's working out. So the Intimidators may be in just a little bit of a trouble, and Craven Pine Soaring Condors have always been a team that I've always thought that they just haven't had the best of luck this season. They've had some bad luck as far as their matchups go, and so I said at the beginning of the interdivision play this in the last 3 weeks that the Craven Pine Soaring Condors could be a spoiler, and actually I'm going to predict that they will be a spoiler here, that they will beat the Intimidators this week. So I'm predicting a Soaring Condors victory over the Intimidators in a very close matchup. The next one, LA Avengers versus the L-Town Beatdown. Now, normally I wouldn't give this much of a look because, you know, Beatdown has a little bit of a disadvantage there as they didn't have a very good team to begin with, and have slowly built it up. But now they have built it up to the point where, you know, they have become a factor, and they can beat the Avengers this week. They can beat them. But it's going to depend on Peyton Manning. I have to believe that Peyton Manning is going to start making a little bit of a comeback here, and that he will score some more fantasy points. And I just think that the LA Avengers have just a little bit more than the L-Town Beatdown do this week. So I'm going to predict an Avengers victory here. But it's not going to be an easy victory. It will be close and hard fought. The next one's probably the matchup of the week. The T-Ville Ligers versus the Sophia Slawcats, because it has so many fantasy, or not fantasy, but playoff implications, especially for the Slawcats here. The Ligers are locked into a spot in the playoffs, but we're not sure exactly which seed they will be, and they have Tom Brady and a resurgent Matt Forte, along with Terrell Owens, Brandon Lloyd, and Johnny Knox as their receivers. They've always had a good receiving crew. Going against Eli Manning, LaShawn McCoy, LaDainian Tomlinson, Greg Jennings, Reggie Wayne, and Jeremy Maclin, which are some excellent receivers on this side. And this is going to be a very close matchup. As a matter of fact, I predict it will be probably within 3 or 4 points at the end of the day. I'm going to predict a Ligers victory, and there's no one particular glaring reason for it. I just think that the Ligers have just a little bit more than the Slawcats do at this point. And I could see it going either way. I really don't see a one defining thing that makes me sway it one way or the other. But I just think that the Ligers will pull out a victory here in this matchup. So that's about as good as I can do on that one. I really, like I said, I really don't know why, but I just have a feeling that the Ligers will pull out a victory here. The last one is Seagrove's Shake and Bake versus the Jokers. Shake and Bake are on a roll again. They won 2 straight versus the Jokers, who have kind of fallen on hard times since getting over 500 at 5-4. They've lost 3 in a row. I look for Seagrove to go into the playoffs strong by taking this one over the Jokers this week. All right, that's all I have. Let's see. Now, last week I was 4-2 for the season, and that puts me at, let me look here real quick, because I forgot to write it down. Puts me at 46-26 for the year. All right, that's all I have for now. Good luck to everyone, and we'll see you in the playoffs.